Ready to go. All right, we welcome in Coach Melanie Moore from Xavier. We'll open it up to Coach for an opening statement, and then please raise your hand, wait to be acknowledged by the moderator. We'll get the microphone over to you for questions. But Coach, an opening statement, please.
Yeah, wow. I'm just so proud of our entire team and staff and our one senior, Yanni Townsend, and just their effort and energy. That was a hard-fought game. We were in it to the very end. And those kids in that locker room gave everything they had. And unfortunately, that's the hard part with sports, is you have a winner, and unfortunately you have a loser. And that was a tough locker room to go into when that was probably our best basketball that we played all season, and just the adversity that we went through. Those kids believed today that they were going to win. So
We'll open it up to questions. We'll get the wireless microphone around to you. You just raise your hand. We'll start over here in the back corner.
Hi, Coach. I'm Ciara with MTMV Sports, and I just wanted to know, what was the mindset going into this game compared to the last two games, being the fact that it was a close game and you lost the last two to double digits?
Great question. We gathered in a circle yesterday at the hotel, and we talked about how it's March. It's March Madness. And we went around the circle, and I asked them, how many of you played in March and cut the nets down? And a really cool thing is 8 out of our 10 players that traveled with us cut down nets. And so each one of those ladies talked about a word that would describe that team when they cut down the nets. And it was incredible. Shay said they had a 3% chance of winning. That was when she won her championship. Yanni said they battled injuries. Another player said that seniors fouled out, freshmen got subbed in, and they won it with 3 overtimes with those freshmen. Everybody had a message. Some were talking about positivity and it was very powerful, and that's what those kids played off of. This is March. It's 0-0. It's anybody's ball game, and they were inspired. They inspired all of us, and hopefully they inspired all of you today with how hard they played.
Right here in the front row.
Hi, Coach. Tim Best from the Igloo Podcast. Now, I mean, compared to the last time you saw them, which was about a month ago, they put up 58 points on you in the first half, and, they played a very high-paced game. And when we talked in the preseason, your big objective was to speed up the offense and play at a higher pace, and you definitely did so today. So compared to the first two meetings, what adjustments were made compared to those games where you were able to play at that pace and play it at a pretty good level?
Yeah, we knew the biggest thing was contesting their three-point shots. In both games, they got a lot of made threes. So we adjusted on our shot selection. We knew we wanted to battle with them in the paint. And those outside shots, take them later in the shot clock and not so quick, because St. John's is so aggressive in transition. So we knew we had to take care of the ball, which we did tonight, and we didn't want the quick shots unless it was layups. And I thought our kids bought into that. And then on the defensive end, being there on the catch. And we adjusted. We switched all screens the first 2 times where we stayed home with certain players on certain players. And I thought that was a major adjustment. And our kids locked in and were bought into stopping their man and who they were guarding. And they did a great job doing that.
Anything else for Coach? Great, Coach. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, one more. Here we go.
Jim Clark from Women's Hoops World. You held Korea, their best scorer, I think, well below her average. At least you made it hard for her. But their interior folks kind of ruled the second half. What was going on there?
Yeah, we talked about that at halftime. Be ready for Leilani and Peoples to take over in the third quarter. And so that was something that we told Townsend. It's senior to senior. You got to lock up and try to defend, and they went at her. And I thought when Yanni picked up some foul trouble, that got us a little bit. And then Correa, that's why she's all conference. She's one of the best players, not only in our conference, but in the country. And so I thought Scarlett did a great job with that challenge of locking her up, and then Calhoun. So we tried to put fresh bodies on her. But you can only hold all conference players down so long, and they're going to get them. And I thought she had some big buckets in the second half that kind of started their run and ignited it. But I'm still proud of our kids' effort. And listen, we're young, and that's what I said in that locker room. I said, only Towson is not here next year. So this was by far our best game of the season. This needs to be momentum moving into next year. And every single player was on board. So just looking forward to getting back in the gym with this group in a couple weeks and starting for next season.
We got a question in the back here, and we'll have one on Zoom after that.
Hi, Coach. Lisa Roman with the Big East. You mentioned such a young team and looking to build off that momentum. What did you learn this season from those young players specifically and their growth up until this point?
Yeah, resiliency. Like I said, we had a lot of injuries. This player's in, this person's out. Illnesses, just all different things. Some players that are no longer with us, and I thought our kids stayed the course. They believed in each other. They believed in our coaching staff, and we just kept getting better and kept coming every day to work. And that's something that we can take from this season moving on to next.
Question on Zoom from Mike Schmaltz. Just your thoughts on Beeler battling today with points and assists and just coming back off of injury and her performance.
Beeler, the last two games, is showing everybody what she can do. And it took her this long to get to that point. She's a fighter, and when she went down, I was like, uh-oh. And for her to I'm good, I'm coming, I'm playing back in this game. And then she came and, still made plays in that second half with her knees. So that's just a credit to who she is. She's a fighter, she's a winner. And if you look at our games all season, when she plays well, we're in the mix to go for the win. So she's a huge piece of what we're building, and we got to continue to get good pieces around her. But she's a special player and a special kid.
Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We welcome in head coach Joe Tardamella and Raven Peoples from St. John's. The Red Storm has won now 4 consecutive openers for them in the Big East tournament, and they have a 14-game win streak against Xavier. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, then questions for Raven. Raven only first, then we'll excuse her, and then we'll take questions for Coach. But opening statement, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you. Pleased with the way we finished the game. Probably for the first 3 quarters, we just really didn't have it. But I thought our energy and our commitment to defending and guarding the ball and getting 50-50 balls changed in the fourth quarter. And we needed it to, obviously, throughout the game. So to be able to finish in the fourth with a 25-12, disparity and win the game going away, the way we shot the ball from the free throw line, I thought was terrific through the end of the game. And I'll say this because I didn't say it in the locker room, and I should have. But Ray played probably the best quarter of her career here, and made probably the biggest plays of her career here since she's gotten here in the fourth quarter. So I'm really happy for her. But really, I thought we grinded it. Our year has been really it's been frustrating at times, and in the way that some of these games have gone for us, and to be able to finish in this moment And I said this coming off the court, when you're in the conference tournament and you can play the way we did to finish the game is a testament to these guys and their mentality, because they could have easily let this game go. So we'll get ready for tomorrow.
So once again, we'll take questions for Raven. If just raise your hand, we'll recognize you. We'll get the microphone over to you. We'll start over here, front row on the left.
Jim Clark from Women's Hoops World. Raven, you were really efficient throughout this game. When they got you the ball, you did something with it. What was your mentality coming in and during the game?
I just kept the mentality of finishing everything throughout the game, because my teammates were finding me and throwing great passes and having confidence in me to finish. So I just took that confidence and tried to finish every layup I took.
Right here in the front.
Hi, Raven. Tim Best from the Igloo Podcast. So, obviously, Leilani, first team all conference, and, she didn't have her best stuff tonight. But, so how important was it for you as a senior also, to step up in that spot? And also, as a follow-up, what's it like having a point guard like Camry Clegg making some of the passes that she did to find you open for some of the buckets you got?
I think it's great having a point guard like Cam, because she's always taking what the defense gives her and always finding the best options for all of our teammates. I think even though Leilani did play not her best, all of our team helped pick her up and just kept fighting throughout the whole game so we could win.
Any other questions for Raven? We'll go to the back corner over here. Get the microphone over to you.
Hello, Raven. Ciara from MTMV Sports. And I just want to know, you were very efficient in the fourth quarter. How would you take this win and get ready for next game?
I think we just have to play tomorrow with the mentality we had during the fourth quarter. We were all locked in together as a team, and we were focused on defense and also trying to be smart and make the right decisions.
Anything else for Raven? Great. We'll let Raven get back to the locker room. We'll reset here and take questions for Coach.
Good job, dude.
Once again, for the folks in Zoom, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If we can get to them, we will. If anybody has any questions for Coach, just raise your hand, and we'll get the microphone over to you. We'll start over here in the front row again on the left.
So, Coach, you said you didn't like the first three quarters all that much. Tell us what the problem was. I mean, it wasn't like you played lousy, but you just didn't play great.
Yeah, the problem was probably something I could describe for about a week. But, we just, when you watch our team play and you watch any team play, I didn't think we took control of the game. And what I mean by that is we didn't dictate anything defensively that I thought we should have against their team. And we didn't guard the ball. We weren't executing our game plan. We were struggling to score. We weren't rebounding. We didn't get on the offensive glass. And so as a team, it was harder for us to score because we weren't getting stops. So it's hard to get out in transition and play with the pace we want to play if we're not getting stops. And I think that was hard. And so our energy level seemed to, which it hasn't through the year, but it seemed to correlate to us scoring, right? So we didn't have enough energy level on defense. And so we had a pretty candid talk at halftime. And really in the fourth quarter, and I'll say this, that there was a point in the fourth where one of our players, led our huddle, and I think probably changed the momentum of the game. And so when you've got players like that who can lead in those moments, like Emma Nolan did today, it was special to watch. And so all of those things changed. We may have made an adjustment defensively that worked out for us, which I think was important and gave us some juice. However, we can't play that way again and expect to be in the game. And so, but we found a way. And for these kids to do that at this moment in time, in a conference tournament with the kind of pressure you have on you, and to go to the line and step up and knock down free throw after free throw, it makes you feel good as a coach through all the stuff you've been through all year to see them be able to do that.
Right here in the front row.
Hey, Coach. So you were down by as many as 8 in that fourth quarter. It was 59-51. So my question for you is, what does it mean for a player like Danielle Patterson to hit a three to give you the lead for good and ride that out to a 7-point victory?
Yeah, we felt that if we could get the lead, that we'd be able to kind of blow the doors open and be in control a little bit. Danielle Patterson, throughout the game, probably was like everybody else. And so I told her I just have to make her mad, and she seems to make corner threes, so I'm just going to keep making her mad. And that's basically, she's been in these moments in her career, in high school and even at the collegiate level at other places, but she has a high level of confidence. I thought she really flipped the switch for us, and that's the second time in a game here recently that she's done that. And so when we can couple that with being on the glass and being able to be a great defender, that's where people have seen from her in her career. But it's a big-time shot in a big moment, and one that I was excited about. Come on, T. And then had to yell her to get back on defense because she was screaming at the bench, so that was good.
Anything else for Coach? Go right here in the back row.
Hi, Coach. Lisa Roman with the Big East. You gave such high praise to Raven for her quarter and how she did so well. What stood out to you the most offensively about her game?
She had conviction today. She caught the ball and she scored. And there was no hesitation in what she was doing. She knew exactly where she was. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. To get the N1 and then the O board was massive. And I think, when you've got, we know that's what she can be. And this kid has had our first practice of the year. We get shut down for a couple weeks, and she was one of them. Comes back, second game of the year, gets hurt, misses 2 months. So, to see where she was today and again, in this moment, is going to really bode well for her, obviously, in the future with us. But you can't say enough about what she did because we needed someone and we needed something to spark what we were going to do, and she made the plays. And that's my thing with her. Just have conviction and play with confidence, and you're a pretty good player.
Coach, we have a question from Zoom. Are you at liberty to share what was spoken by your athlete in the huddle that maybe turned the momentum around for you guys?
Actually, I'm not, because I don't know what she said. So there you go.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty good answer.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, congrats on the win. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, guys.